President Trump is on a West Coast swing. He was met by protesters in the Bay Area and Los Angeles today, where he attended private fundraisers as preparations were made here in San Diego ahead of the president's visit here tomorrow. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Barbara Lee Edwards.
And I'm Marcella Lee. President Trump will arrive here in San Diego tomorrow morning for a fundraiser luncheon at the U.S. Grant Hotel downtown.
No parking signs went up in the area today, and there will be some street closures. News 8's Amanda Shotsky is live downtown with more on the preparations and the protest plan for tomorrow. Amanda?
We've already seen some of those street signs go up and those barriers that are now in place in anticipation of President Trump's visit tomorrow morning. He is hosting a campaign fundraiser at the U.S. Grant, and we know hundreds of people have purchased pricey tickets to attend that. And while that is going on across the street right where we're standing, there will be a protest here at Horton Plaza.
A calm night in downtown San Diego, but that's about to change.
I anticipate it's going to be pretty terrible.
A campaign stop by President Donald Trump is expected to bring in extra foot traffic, protests, heightened security, and road closures. Cones and street signs have already been placed around the U.S. Grant, where the president will host a luncheon on Wednesday.
It would be great to see the president in person.
Local Republican Party Chairman Tony Kavarik will be attending the fundraiser that's already brought in around $4 million from ticket sales, ranging in price from $1,000 to $100,000 apiece.
It's a blue state, but there's still millions of Republicans out there.
San Diego was the last stop in the president's California tour. Air Force One touched down in the Bay Area Tuesday morning, with the president making appearances in San Francisco, then heading south to Los Angeles. The trip sparking protests in both cities. In L.A., law enforcement had to intervene after tensions ran high.
Back up, please. Back up.
The president is expected to land at Miramar Air Base around 11 Wednesday morning before his motorcade heads downtown. While the route has not been made public, commuters should expect delays and detours throughout the day.
I'll avoid the area at all costs, so I'm going to stay away from downtown tomorrow for sure.
And the rally here at Horton Plaza is scheduled to get underway at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. That's 2 hours before the campaign fundraiser is set to begin. Now, after that is over, the president is expected to head down for a tour of the U.S.-Mexico border. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Amanda. News 8 will have complete coverage of President Trump's San Diego visit tomorrow, beginning with live coverage on News 8 in the morning and all day across our digital platforms, including the News 8 app, the CWSanDiego.com, Facebook, and YouTube.